Hello, welcome to another manga spotlight. This is Mr. Villain's Day Off, and it is a slice of life comedy. I guess is the best way to explain it. If anyone's familiar with Four Coma, I think that's how you pronounce it. Like it's kind of like that, somewhat. Like it's not a Four Coma strip, but it is similar, just in the sense that each chapter is very short. Like you can read it in like 10, 15 seconds. The chapters are really short, and each chapter is self-contained. It's kind of almost episodic. You can basically jump into any chapter and not be lost, not miss anything. There's no overarching arc whatsoever. Some people said there might be, not really. I mean, there might be some references to something earlier, or someone like, has bumped, like one character might bump into another character, and then it might get brought up like 10 chapters later, but only very briefly and just for like a gag. So there's really no overarching story. The basic premise is pretty much that there's this evil organization that are aliens and they want to invade Earth and wipe out all of humanity. And one of the main generals of this evil organization basically goes on his day off. It's basically like just following him every time he has a day off and what he does with that day off. And what he does is usually he goes to the zoo and looks at pandas because he has an obsession with pandas. And of course, there's the hero characters, and they're basically like Power Rangers. But I don't necessarily care for them too much. I guess the Pink Ranger is kind of cool, but that's kind of it. And for anyone saying, just get on with the story already, this is pretty much what the review is going to be, because there is no overarching story, and I can't show you any of the actual interiors because it's a manga, and YouTube does not really allow that. If you guys are watching this on BitChute or Odyssey, or even Mind, assuming that the review is short enough, which I assume it'll be. I think this is going to be a short review. Then you guys can see the interiors that I'm going to show. But YouTube doesn't allow me to do that for copyright reasons. Like Japan's crazy. Like they'll strike anything that shows like manga interiors. So this one image is the only image you're going to see. I will describe what images I'm like looking at. But again, it's basically just what I've kind of explained. So yeah, we have our main character, the evil general, and he's pretty much just going to the zoo and he's looking at pandas. And this is kind of like a secret between everyone else. Like no one else in his organization knows that he likes pandas because I guess they'll see him as weak. So this is just kind of something he keeps to himself. So yeah, he's just absolutely obsessed with pandas. And while he wants to wipe out all of humanity, he wants to keep the pandas safe. So I guess he's not all that bad. But while he's at the zoo, Power Ranger Red shows up and basically says, you're a member of the evil organization. Like I can sense the evil within you. Let's fight. And our villain is like, no, let's not do that. Like if we do that, then the pandas might get scared, and I don't want to scare the pandas. And Ranger Red is like, you know what? Like I like pandas too. And that's when the evil organization general realizes that he's holding a ticket for an aquarium, yet he's at a zoo. And this is basically a running gag where Ranger Red gets lost constantly. Like he'll even get lost at the mall. He's constantly getting lost. So the general notices that he's lost and he's at the wrong place. So this chapter is pretty much he meets Red and he just tells Red, like, here's how you get to the train station and you just get off here. So he takes him to the train station, shows this is the stop you get off, and then he goes about his day and he's like, I wonder if the queue for the Panda line is going to be short now. And that's kind of it. So that's like a chapter. We have another chapter where he's walking along the sidewalk and he sees two kids playing in the snow, and they basically make a snow bunny. Like they gather snow together and they put two leaves to make the ears, and then they put two little pebbles to make the eyes, and instead of a snowman, it's a little snow rabbit. And he finds it to be really cute, so he decides to make his own, and he's like really impressed with it. So impressed that he takes it back home and he puts it in his fridge, and we see him checking it constantly, and it slowly melts until it becomes nothing more than a puddle of water, leaves, and rocks and twigs. And then like we see him back at work, and he's like super depressed because his snow rabbit is melted away. On his next day off, he's walking through the sidewalk again, and it's snowing, and it reminds him of the snow rabbit, and he's sad. So there you go. There's like another chapter. As you can tell, these chapters are super short. So like we have another one where he's at a he's at the zoo again, and he's in the petting area, and there's a bunch of rabbits, and he's like looking at the rabbits, and he doesn't know like the best way to pet them, and he sees like this little boy, and the little boy is like, you got to stroke their backs first, and then once they enjoy that. And then once you stroke their backs for a while and they realize that you're not going to do anything to them, then they'll let you like touch their head and stuff like that. And the general is like, oh, teach me some more about petting rabbits. So we have this moment where the two kind of bond because, the kid's like, wow, this grown man is like calling me sensei and stuff. And the boy basically shows him how to touch and pet the rabbits. And then the boy and the general pet the rabbits and they have fun. And that's pretty much it. Like they become friends and they fist bump, and that's the end of the chapter. So yeah, as I've said before, these chapters go by really, really quick. So we have like another one where he sees this short, fat, old guy struggling to climb up these steps, and he's like, "Here, let me like carry that package for you." And then he's walking up the steps, and he realizes that the old man is really struggling. So then he kneels down. And he tells the old man, "I climb on my back, and I'll carry you up the steps." So he does so, and the old man's like, you're a good child. Thank you for helping me. Can you do me one more favor? And he's like, sure. So then he shows up, and he realizes like he's like in this weird like winter wonderland kind of place, and he's like, where the hell am I? And the old man gives him like almost like a Santa suit and just asks him to help him package up these deliveries and put them on this sled. And it turns out that the old man is Santa Claus. And so he ends up helping Santa Claus. And the Santa Claus is like, thank you for today, child of a distant star. So basically showing the general that like, I know you're an alien. I wish you a Merry Christmas. And then the general wakes up the next morning, wondering if it's all a dream. And then he realizes that there's a present under his blanket. So it wasn't a dream. He really did meet Santa Claus. I'll give you another one. So there's one where this one's also really short, just like all the other chapters, I guess. But this one, he's obsessed with pandas, right? So he's at the store and he sees these stuffed pandas, and he sees one stuffed panda that's really realistic. And then he sees another one that's more like chibified. And he can't decide which one he wants because the one that's realistic is really cute because pandas are cute, and this one looks like a panda, so it's cute. But the deformed one is really cute too, and it's cute in its own way. So he's kind of struggling to see which one should I get. So he decides, okay, let's see which one is squishier. So he squeezes the realistic panda and realizes it is pretty squishy, but then he squishes the deformed one and realizes, oh man, this one's even more squishy and soft. Like the sensations it's giving me. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to buy both of them. And then that's how the chapter ends. I mean, I could go through every single chapter, but that's pretty much what it is. It's basically just the life of this evil general who's not really evil. We never see him do anything evil whatsoever. Even all his like confrontations with the Rangers themselves are like actually kind of sweet. Like there's one where he meets Blue Ranger, who are basically like two little kids, and he like helps them out and stuff. There's one where he meets Ranger Pink. Ranger Pink is upset that she's a ranger. What she really wanted to be was a magical girl. Like she's obsessed with magical girls, and she finds magical girls to be really cute, which is very like no one would assume that from her because she's kind of like a tomboyish. At least that's like the facade she gives. Like she's basically like a tsundere without the whole relationship part. Very cold and standoffish and stuff, but she's like obsessed with magical girls, and she has like a little magical girl pendant keychain, and she loses it, and the general finds it and basically is able to give it back to her, and she thanks him, and he's like, you should be careful about the things that you hold dear, magical girl. And then she like starts developing a crush because this is the first time anyone has ever referred to her as a magical girl. So we have like moments like that. There's not really any romance whatsoever, other than just that. But yeah, it's basically just a slice of life where we follow this evil general and just the things that he does on his day off from being an evil general. And it's usually going to the zoo and looking at pandas and things to do with pandas, like whether it's looking at pandas, buying stuffed animals of pandas, realizing that this local food market is selling like buns in the shape of a panda for a limited time, and he wants to get some, whether it's going to a coffee shop and having the barista make the little foam art of a panda bear, and he's like drinking it and he enjoys it, but at the same time he's sad because the more he drinks, the less of a panda that there is. Like the panda will slowly start going away because he's drinking it. So like he both loves it, but also it makes him sad. So it's like weird stuff like that. And that's pretty much what it is. It's good to read if you don't have that much time, which I don't now. And it's also good to read if you just need kind of like a pick-me-up or just something, you know, to kind of cheer you up a bit. Because everything's like very lighthearted and comedy. There's no drama whatsoever. Like even most slice of life will have like a little bit of drama here and there. This has none whatsoever that I've come across. What? There's 35 chapters in so far that have been translated. And out of those 35, I can't recall one dramatic moment. Meanwhile, like some of the other slice of life stuff that I've reviewed, I haven't reviewed too many, but the ones that I have has its dramatic moments here and there. None in this series so far. So if you want something with no drama and just lightheartedness, I highly recommend Mr. Villain's Day Off. And you can find that at pretty much any scanlation site, I would assume, but I read mine off of MangaDex. Most of my stuff is on MangaDex. So anyone asking, like, you know, where can I read this? Just go to MangaDex and type in the title of this, you know, the series. So this is Mr. Villain's Day Off. That's the English version. You should be able to type that up and it'll come up. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And sorry if you guys are watching this on YouTube and you just have to go off of what I'm saying. I really would love to show the interiors, but I've been basically hit with copyright strikes when I do. There are a couple of stuff that I've been able to put out and they haven't hit me, thankfully. But yeah, the last time I tried, I got hit with a copyright strike. So I guess Japan's just really crazy about showing manga interiors, which is weird because everything I review, not everything, but most of the stuff I do spotlights for are stuff that aren't officially translated. So there's no way you can read them unless you either know Japanese or you go to a scanlation site. So you would think that maybe they would be happy that someone's just, you know, on the other side of the world is mentioning it and maybe putting somewhat, you know, my channel is really, really small, but maybe someone with a bigger channel will see this and get interested and decide to do a video there. Like, I don't know, you would think the more eyes on it, the better. So I don't understand hitting people with copyright strikes for showing, like I literally showed 5 pages, not even 5 pages, 5 panels of spread out between 8 chapters. And I got hit with a copyright strike. So I was like, all right, just to be on the safe side, I'm just not going to show any interiors when it comes to manga reviews on YouTube. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video anyways. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell for notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, thank you for watching it this far. And I hope that the next video you guys will appreciate. Feel free to comment down below about anything that you want, whether it's recommendations or anything like that. If you guys know any workarounds around the whole interior YouTube copyright strike thing, you know, I'm totally down for hearing that. Any feedback, just as long as it's constructive, I'm always down to hear it. Like anything that will make you guys like my channel and my videos more, I would love to hear, so I can work on that. So don't feel like, you know, afraid to point out anything that I mean, if it's something like, you know, your voice is kind of boring, that's I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do about that. But if it's something that I could physically, if it's something that I can do to make something better, yeah, let me know. But yeah, guys got any recommendations, let me know about that too. And now I'm just kind of rambling, so I'm just going to end this here. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.